Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
In the last week, you got to know what is programming all about. We all saw that programming can indeed be fun. We showed several nice examples on Scratch and asked you to create your own Scratch programs. I'm sure many of you tried doing it. Let us now switch modes and start learning Python. Python isn't as easy as Scratch, but we assure you that we will certainly make it easy and interesting to you. So get your cup of tea, pen, paper and computers ready. Let's start.
Hi everyone, in this video we will see how to download Anaconda. So Anaconda is a tool through which you can write your programs in Python and even compile it and run it. So why we are suggesting Anaconda? Because Anaconda comes with a lot of libraries, so you do not have to install those libraries again or those packages again. So it is very user friendly for beginners. So in this course throughout we will be using Anaconda only, and with Anaconda there comes an IDE which is known as Spider, so we will be using Spider. So let's see this. So let me just type on Google Anaconda. Okay, I type Anaconda Python, so it doesn't come, the snake doesn't come. Okay, so you can see the links. This is the link, which is anaconda.org. You can click here. So I'll just type URL. Okay. You can sign up here also, so that you get new newsletters and new versions. If they release anything, you will get a notification of that. So just go to the download Anaconda and click on it. Okay, you can see you can download it on Windows, you can download it on Mac and even Linux. So today I'm going to install the Anaconda on Windows. I have Windows 10, so you can easily download it by following the same instructions which I'm going to provide you in this video. You can download it on Linux also and Mac also. So let me go to the Windows version. Okay, just click on it. Okay, you can see that Anaconda 5.2 is there for Windows installer. There are two types of version. Okay, Python 3.6 version and Python 2.7 version. In this course we will be using Python 3 or 3.x, I mean 3. Any of the released version. So we would like you to install the Python 3.6 version rather than Python 2.7 version. Even though the difference is very less, some little bit syntax differences between 2.7 version and 3.6 version, but there are some libraries which are compatible with 3.6 version and which are not compatible with 2.7 version. So in this course we would like you to download the 3.6 version. Just click on this download button. I already downloaded this in my computer, so I will just check I will go to the download. Okay, so you can see Anaconda 3.5 is already there, so I will just run it, double click on it. Okay, it's working. Just make it I agree. It's up to you what you want, just me or all the users. I'm doing it for just me. Okay, you can check where you want to install the Anaconda. You can make it as a default also. As default it goes to the drive C, so it's up to you. So I will use the default version and I will go there, just install it. It will take some time. Okay guys, you can see that this has been completed, so I'll just press next. I don't want Microsoft Visual Studio Code, so I'll skip this. You can check this read manual, learn how to get started with Anaconda, learn more. So let's see this, what they provide. So getting started with Anaconda, you can go through all these things. Okay, you can check how to start Anaconda, Spider IDE on Windows and Linux and Mac, other operating system, and you can learn more about Anaconda Cloud over here. So this is done, so I'll just search here, go to the search bar and type Spider. So just click it. So you can see this spider. I open this Spider IDE. This part is the part where I will write my program, and you can see this name. This name is the name of my program. So I can change this. For example, what I will do: start, save as, let's say, and I'll save it as my first. Okay, this part, let me just make it a little bit big. Okay, this part is the part where you can see the console. So you can see here it's written IPython console. So in this console you will get all the outputs related things. This part is the part where you can see the variables and and the files and other related stuff. Variable means how they are changing and what values they are keeping it. So we'll learn about this in other videos. As you should know that in the Python in console it works as an interpreter. So in console you can do some kind of programming also. For example, if I write here 2 plus 3, it will give me 5 because it interprets here. It's not like other languages like C, C++ and Java where you have to compile it first, then you have to run it. It works as an interpreter and line by line it interprets. So in console you can write those things. Okay. So let me just write a simple command of print here. Okay. And let me show how to run this. So I'll just write print. Okay. And in the columns, my first program. Okay. I will just save it. And here you can see the run button. Just click on it. Yes, run it. My first program got the output here. Yeah. So this is how you do your programming. Let me do some other stuff. Just erase it. Let me just create a simple variable. Okay, I will create a is equal to 10, which means a is a, just visualize it as a bucket containing 10 let's say 10 cookies, or a glass which is or a jar which contains 10 cookies. Okay, let me create another bucket or a jar containing 13 cookies, let's say. Okay, now I want to create a jar in C, and I want to add the number of cookies of which were present in A and which were present in B in this C. So I want the C should contain all the cookies which were present in A plus all the cookies which are present in B. So I will just write A cookies in A plus cookies in B. Okay, I'll save this. Now I want to print cookies in C. That's it. I just write C. Print the cookies of C. Run it. 23. Should come 23. The best thing about thing, you can revise the thing whatever the variables you have created here. You can see those variables what are present in those variables in the console also. If I write here A only, you see it will show 10. If I write B, it will show 30. If I write C, it will show 23. Even here you can see all the variables that have been created. A of type integer, we'll see this about in other videos, in following videos. A is of integer type and it has the value it has is 10. B is also an integer, value is 13. C is also an integer, the value is 23. So these are the basic stuff you can print. So you can print here also. Hi, my name is Amit. Okay, so print it directly here. So this video was about just installation of Anaconda on Windows. So just follow the same step on Mac if you are using Mac operating system, or if you are using Linux operating system, the instructions are same. Just go to the Anaconda cloud, download the latest version. Make sure you know the architecture. For example, I downloaded the Anaconda Python 3.6 with 64-bit. So you should know the architecture of your operating system. If it is 64-bit, you can download 64 and 32-bit both. But if it is a 32-bit, you have to download the 32-bit version only. So make sure you know the architecture. This is pretty much. So I just wanted you guys to see how to download the Anaconda. In all our videos we'll be using this Spider IDE only. It is very easy. You can import. It has a lot of libraries present, so you don't have to download some libraries by yourself. If you just download Python, the open source libraries which comes with the Python, you have to download it again. So independently, you need to download those packages. So with Anaconda, you do not have to do that because it comes with all those libraries. Most of the libraries, some of the libraries you might have to download, and if you have to download those libraries, we'll tell you how to download. So this was it. Please, if you find any problem regarding installation of this Anaconda, please post it on forum. We'll help you. We'll also provide the documentation how to download it on Mac, Windows and Linux. So yeah, thank you.
I have now opened the Spider terminal. Before going further, let us look at some basic functionalities of this interface. Of course, we told you a whole lot about Anaconda installation just now. I will just tell you one fact that will be helpful for me to teach you more of Python. This is called a console where I can check some commands, and this is the place where I type my Python code. You will soon get familiarized with these things. Don't worry if you don't understand completely. What I will do is, in the interest of making the video visible to you all, I will maximize this. You can also do it by going to View and then saying maximize current pane. Current pane means the pane where you are right now. You click on it, it becomes full like this. And if you want to get back to its normal state, you can go to View and say restore current pane. You'll come back here. Okay? For the time being, I will maximize this. Maximized it, increasing the font, and then let's start. We saw what are variables. I can say A equals 10, B equals 20, and then say C equals A plus B. And then I can print what is in C. It's 30, correct? C was A plus B. And see, now when you print what is in C, this command print says what is in C, display it. If I say show C, it will not show anything. It will show you some weird stuff like this, because Python only recognizes the word print. It doesn't recognize the word show. I cannot simply say what is in C. It will not know what we are talking. right? There's a particular way of saying something. Print C is the way of saying. Okay, it shows 30. Now, I can simply say C also, it will show 30. But it's a good practice to say print of C always. You will know why very soon. Now, if I say X is equal to, within quotes, Sudarshan, and I say print X just the way I said print C, I say print X, it will show whatever is in X. So you must be wondering, why should I say print X? I can directly type Sudarshan here. If your point is to display Sudarshan, simply type Sudarshan here. Now, note this. Whenever we are trying to teach you something, we will use a very silly example. That is in the interest of teaching. It is in no way an indication of the importance of a command. So print X displays Sudarshan. I am just trying to illustrate what print does. I am not telling you the exact usage of the print command. So the exact usage will come next. You just now saw what print does. It isn't just this. Let us see more of it now. Now, I have 3 TAs in my course. My first TA, let me call it T1, is Amit. T1 equals Amit. When I say print T1, it will show Amit, as you can see. Okay. My second TA's name is Simran. And my third TA's name is Vidya. Now I have T1, T2, T3. Now see what I'm going to do. I'm going to say print hello T1. Inside quotes I'm going to put T1. And then I'm going to close, and guess what will happen? It will say hello T1. Why? Whatever you put within the quotes, it will simply show whatever is inside. That's it. But if I say print hello and then close the quotes and then put a comma and then say T1, close the bracket and then say enter, you see what happened? You probably can guess what is happening here. I need not explain. It is saying hello followed by whatever was stored in T1. What was stored in T1? Amit was stored in T1. So it is simply saying hello Amit. If I were to say print hello T2, it will say hello Simran. If I were to say print hello, don't worry about what comes here. It is a help lookup on how print command works. So please ignore this. This is too much for you to understand or even see what is written here. So just ignore this thing that is coming in here. If I say hello, comma T3, it will say hello Vidya. Okay. They are my TAs. I am the instructor. If I say I equals Sudarshan, and now if I say print I, it will simply print Sudarshan. If I say print hello I, it will say hello Sudarshan. Okay. If I say print, see, I can use up arrow to go to the previous command. I just said up arrow. Up arrow. There are 4 arrows, you see, up, down, left, right. If I press up, it goes to the previous command. Previous command. If I again press up arrow, it goes to this previous command, which is print of I. See? And then the previous, and then the previous. I'll be using this quite often. Don't get confused. Don't be worried how I am able to type something very quickly. I'm just using, this is called the history lookup. I'm just going and seeing the history. So, what if I say print hello T1, comma T2, comma T3? What will it display? Let us see what it displays. So it says hello Amit, Simran, Vidya. Because T1, T2, T3 are Amit, Simran and Vidya. Now let's do something. Print hello T1, T2, T3, T3 and then comma. How are you all doing? How are you all doing today? Then I close. Again, this is self-explanatory, isn't it? You now know what this does. It simply says, hello Amit, Simran, Vidya. How are you all doing today? See, programming is all about this. If I now realize that T1 is Amit, but Amit said, sir, please display my full name. My full name is Amit Verma. Then I'll say T1 is equal to Amit underscore Verma, let's say. I put it like this. Okay. Now when I say print T1, it says Amit Verma. Now you can wonder what happened to the previous T1, which was actually Amit. It is overridden. By that I mean whatever you assign the latest, T1 is Amit Verma, will be the latest value. Okay. If now I say T1 is equal to let's say India, T1, print T1 will give you India. Right? Amit Verma is now gone. Correct? Okay. So now let me get back Amit Verma, up arrow, T1 equals Amit Verma. And what I will do is I will display this once again. Up arrow. Hello T1, T2, T3, how are you all doing? Look at the output here. It was hello Amit, Simran, Vidya, how are you all doing? Now T1 has become Amit Verma. This T1 is now Amit Verma. So it will say hello Amit Verma with Simran and Vidya. Simran, Vidya, how are you all doing today? See, hello Amit Verma, Simran, Vidya, how are you all doing today? Correct? Now let me enhance this slightly. I would want to put an and here after T1, T2. I want to put and. Right? When you have three names, after two names, you should put and. And then after hello Amit Verma, Simran, Vidya, I want to put a full stop. So I will put a full stop here before how starts. Correct? Look at this command properly. Look at this entire command properly. Let me highlight it for you. Look at this entire command. What am I trying to do here? I am simply saying hello T1, T2 and T3. Full stop. How are you all doing today? Perfect. It says hello Amit Verma, Simran and Vidya. How are you all doing today? Amazing. Now you understand how print command works and how you can club variables with print command. Let us conclude this discussion with a very small exercise. I'll say age is equal to 30. Enter. Okay. Print the number you entered as was, put age and close. It will say the number you entered was 30. Now if you change age to some 40 and then print, it will say entered was 40. Correct? Now I will say age, whatever it was, what was it? Print age will tell you what age was. Age was 40. Why not 30? Because you wrote it once again. Once you write age equals 40, the latest assignment for age will be taken. By assignment, I mean 40 gets stored in this variable called age. Okay? If I say age equals age plus 1, this is a little worrisome. What does one mean by age equals age plus 1? Python is a particular way of functioning. When someone says age equals age plus 1, Python simply takes the age value and adds 1 to it and assigns the new value to this, namely age. So print age will show you 41. Correct? Don't worry so much about what these variables are. You will become very clear with them with time. Okay? Variable is more like a house where you store some entity. Right? You keep a book in a cupboard. Right? A variable is like a cupboard and your book is like the value that you assigned. See it that way. It will become very handy for you to call age and the value of age, whatever it is right now, 41, will be ready for your reference. Right? So don't worry, even if you didn't understand, if you understood only 50% of what I taught, still you are through with understanding good amount of Python in the forthcoming lectures. So we saw what is print command. Let us do something. Let us use it properly. When I say a equals 1 and then print a, you get 1. When I say a equals a plus 1, it means you are incrementing a by 1. So what will happen to a? It will become 2. I again say a equals a plus 1 and then I say a becomes 3. A equals a plus 1 and then a 4 and so on. Correct? You now follow what is print command very well. Okay. So now I can actually say a equals a plus 1 and then put a colon and then say print of a. These two commands get executed simultaneously. Firstly, it will become, this is as good as executing a command and then executing this command. So if I type the same thing and press enter, it will display 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and so on. Okay, let me clear the screen by typing clear. Okay, now a equals 1 once again, print a, which will make it print 1. Now look at this, a equals a plus 1, print a, again I put a colon, okay, rather this is a semicolon, not a colon, sorry. And then I say a equals a plus 1 once again and put a semicolon and say print a once again. Again a semicolon, a equals a plus 1 and then I say print a. What does this do? It will simply execute all these commands in a sequence. Enter. 2, 3, 4. Why? Because a was already 1. I incremented it by 1, it became 2 and then it printed a and so on. Okay. So what I should do is I should probably print a equals 1, assign that and then print a and then put a semicolon and then increment a and so on. Now this is a sequence of instructions. Do you understand that? A equals 1 is the first thing. Assign a to 1. In plain English, this is what is happening. Assign 1 to a. Not a to 1, I'm sorry. You don't assign a to 1. You assign 1 to a. And then you print what is in a. And then again you make a become 1 more. That's what this means. Sir, why do we write it as a equals a plus 1? That's the convention. Okay, you must learn it that way. This is how you can talk to Python. Okay, a equals a plus 1. Incremented. Print a. Now a will be displayed as 2. A equals a plus 1. A becomes 3. Now a will be printed as 3. A equals a plus 1. A becomes 4. And then a will be printed as 4. Perfect. Let's execute this and see if this is what it displays. Hip hip hooray, we are done. It says 1, 2, 3, 4. You have learned one of the important aspects of Python. Important aspects of programming in general. Programming is all about executing a sequence of instructions to the computer, telling the computer what to do. Right? Okay. Perfect. So now you understand how to use print command, what are variables, and how you can type something in a sequence.
It is now time to learn a new command. Please note that print command that we showed you just now, it is used to display something, meaning output something to the screen, your monitor, right? Now let us learn how to take something as input from your keyboard by writing a piece of code.
I have now opened the Spider terminal, as you can see, and here is my what is called the console where you can type your code. Here is my place where I can type my code. What do I mean by that? Let me remove whatever is present here. Once you become a proficient programmer, you'll understand what was present and what am I deleting. It's about documenting your code. Anyway, let's not worry about it. Now look at this. I can now say a equals 1, a equals A equals A plus 1. And then after A equals 1, I'll say print A. And then after A equals A plus 1, I'll say print A. Okay. Now, I want this to be executed all at once. This is equivalent to, remember in this console we were trying to type something in the previous discussion. A equals 1. Print A. This is same as A equals 1, put a semicolon and then say print A. Correct? A equals 1, print A, and then A equals A plus 1, and then print A will simply execute all these things at once. This can be given here, or the same thing can also be given here. When you give here, you must execute this code by going to the menu, click on run, and then click on run. It will first ask me to save this file. It is just like saving your simple MS Word file. I'll type print.py. It should always have py extension. Okay, like how your MS Word files have .doc extension and Notepad files have .txt extension. Your Python has .py extension. Click on save wherever you want it to be saved. And now when you go to run and then say run, it will run, and do you see the answer? 1 and 2 is the answer. It says running this particular file. Okay, let me write more. A equals A plus 1 and then print A. Okay, I will copy paste this and then repeat this again. Perfect. This is so much fun. I want to see what exactly happens. Now from here I plan to execute it. So how many times should it print A? Once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times. Let's make it 10 times now. Now what do you expect to be the output? It should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct? Let's see if this is what this does. Go to run and click on run. You will get, see, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did you learn just now? You can write a sequence of codes using semicolon here. I will show you. Wait, where was that? It is here. Like this you can type, or you can type it like this and even save it for future reference. Right? You can save this file. Here is your program. What does the program do? Assign 1 to the variable A and print the variable A. As I told you, variable is more like an entity which stores a value. A now has 1, but the same A is now incremented by 1, and then you print A, and then you increment A by 1, print A, and so on. So, bare minimum prerequisites is expected in this course, and many of you do not know anything about programming. So all of you who is seeing programming for the first time will find these lessons very self-explanatory, and people who know some programming already might be getting bored because we are talking about basics, but very soon you will see that we'll pace up and cover the whole of Python and get into some really cool computing applications. So please tolerate our simplicity for the next few lecture videos. Alright, so I'm going to teach you people how to take input from the computer. What do we mean by this? I'll illustrate with an example. Firstly, let us make it full screen. Then look at this. Print what is your name. Okay, it shows what is your name. And then I say n equals input. What is your name? Same thing I'm going to put here. This will also say what is your name, but it will wait for you to type your name. See what happens. I say enter. See, it is saying what is your name, and then do you see the cursor blinking here? Do you see the cursor blinking here? Right? I will type Sudarshan. Now it stops. You know what it has done right now? It has taken Sudarshan and has assigned Sudarshan to n. How do you know that? Say print n and there you are, Sudarshan. Okay. If I say n equals input, what is your name? And I type IIT _ Roper. And I say print n. It prints IIT Roper. Okay. Let me put this to use now. I hope you all understood what we are doing here. Correct? So let me go to view and then restore current pane, and I have this. Okay. Okay. So let me now write a code for this. Print. I need not print. You see, I can directly say n equals input. What is your name? And whatever you input, I will then say print hello n. Can you stare at these two lines and tell me what this does? Okay, let us run and see. That's the best part about programming. If it's hard for you to guess what something will do, you can run and see what it does. So, we may guess, it will ask you to type your name and assign that name to n, and it will say hello n, depending on whatever name you are going to type. Run, and it's asking me for the name. What is your name? And I'll type, let's say India. My name is India. That's it. It says hello India. Correct? Okay, let's add some more spice to it. I'll say print hello n. How are you? N. Print. I hope life is treating n well. So what happens? Let us save this first, run this and see what happens. It says again, what is your name? I'll type my original name, Sudarshan. What should it now say? Hello Sudarshan. How are you, Sudarshan? I hope life is treating Sudarshan well. Perfect. I am very bad at punctuation, so let me just correct those things right now. Dot here, and how are you, Sudarshan? After that, I need to put a question mark. Hello n, and then an exclamation maybe. Correct. What is your name? Has a question mark. Right. Now let me save this and run this. What is your name? I say Sudarshan. It says hello Sudarshan! Exclamation. How are you, Sudarshan? Question mark. I hope life is treating Sudarshan well. You see what we just did? If instead of Sudarshan I were to input something else, which let me try now. Let me go to run and then say run. It's asking me for name. I'll type some other name. Okay. I'll type Ram. R-A-M. Okay. You say, what is your name? Ram. Hello Ram. How are you, Ram? I hope life is treating Ram well. Now, isn't that interesting? You type something and that is put as a placeholder in many places, and there's a customized message for that person. Okay. Watch this video a couple of times to get a hang of what we are trying to say. This is going to be important. We are going to take a whole lot of input from users and should understand how that is done. Imagine I walk into a restaurant, or let's say a shop, where there is a discount of 10%, which means if you buy something for 100 rupees, you actually got to pay only 90 rupees. If you buy something for 150 rupees, you got to pay only 135 rupees. So you will get a discount of 10% almost. Which means whatever is the price, you must multiply it by 0.9. So let us now write a program which takes as input the cost and then tells you the price after discount. Basically, it must simply multiply by 0.9 and then give you the answer. Okay? Now, how do I go about this? Let me teach you something. Print. What is the cost? Alright? What is the cost? And you enter something. What should that be? Cost for C is cost. C equals input I'll say what is the cost. This is how it is done, right? Bracket and a bracket like this, and it will wait for you to enter. When I press 150, it takes C as 150. See, print C. I'm sorry, print within bracket C gives you 150. Correct? Now I will say print, let's say answer is equal to C times 0.9. It is throwing some error, you see. We must understand this. Whenever we ask for C, this C, you wrote 150, but the computer sees it as, it doesn't see it as a number, it sees it as what is called a string. Now, assume this is like your vehicle can only take diesel, it cannot take petrol. If you fill petrol, you're doing a huge mistake. You probably will be making your vehicle unusable. Correct? So, this is now treated as string. On string, you cannot do any kind of mathematical operations. So, there is a way to handle this. What you must do is you should convert the string to a number. This is done by the following way. You say D equals int of C. Now, print D. This will be a number. Now, this you can do. Answer equals D times 0.9. And now if you print answer, it will have 135. If you found it difficult to understand what I said, let me start from the beginning. Okay? So let me clear the screen. Let's do full screen so that you're able to see everything. Okay? I say C equals input, right? Input. Enter the cost of the item, and then you will enter something, let's say 200. Okay? Now print C is 200. You cannot do any addition or subtraction on this C now. That's how it is. You might be wondering why. Now, all these programming languages come with its own way of handling. You probably are wondering how difficult is it to ensure that the people who made Python gave us this facility of manipulating C directly. Why should we do this? But this is the standard. So what should we do? We should say D equals, convert this to integer. That's the command for it. Int of C. Again note, if you simply say D equals integer of C, it will show some weird error like this. Name integer is not defined. If you can guess, it is just saying that I don't know what you mean by integer. When I say D equals int, it knows. It converts the value in C onto an integer like value. So D is now assigned the value 200. This 200 is in D. And since it's an integer, it is ready to take your arithmetic operations. So you can do math on it. So what is my math? Answer will be 0.9 times, please note you should put a star here. That's the multiplication symbol, not your typical X that you do in school days. Okay, if you do that, it will show an error. You should put a star here. Star is on your keyboard, it's just on top of the number 8. 0.9 times D. That's the answer. So now I print answer. It will give you 180, which is the discounted price after removing 10% from what you input. Now, what is our job? Our job right now would be to write a code for this, the entire thing. How do we go about? Print. Hi. How are you doing? Hi. How are you? Let us compute the final price after discount, is what I say. Okay, enter. Alright, now next. What is that? C equals input, enter the cost of the item. Okay, and then you should do D equals int of C. And Then finally you should say answer is equal to 0.9 times D. And finally you must say print the cost after discount is, close the colon, comma, say answer, and there you are. This will do everything that you want it to do. First it will print hi, how are you, etc. And then it will say enter the cost. You will enter whatever you enter goes to C. And then D will be a convert of C. You're converting a petrol car to a diesel car. It's something like that. Okay, so that you can write it the way you want. See, there's a difference between a diesel engine and a petrol engine. You cannot treat one like the other. Correct? So D equals integer of C. Now D becomes a integer variable. You can do all sorts of mathematical operations on it. I told you this is how Python works. So you should not ask a lot of questions there. Right? So answer is equal to 0.9 times D. If you don't understand, this is how you compute discount, right? 90% of the original value is what you get after 10% discount. Okay, you need a pen and paper to work this out, but trust me, my math is decent enough that I can tell you that this is the formula. Answer equals 0.9 times D. So then finally I print the cost after discount is the answer. Let us see what happens to this code. Go to run and then run this. See, there's a shortcut as well. You can use F5 to run it. I'm doing it the age-old way. Don't call me a bad programmer. There are a lot of nice ways in which you can run this code. In fact, I don't like using a portal like this. I like doing it on the command prompt. But to make you understand, I am using it the old school way. So run. Hi, how are you? Let us compute the final price after discount. Enter the cost. I bought something for 1,000 rupees. 10,000. Okay, 1,000 rupees. So what will be my discount? 10% gone should be 900. Let's see. And I press enter and whoo, here you are, 900. Do you see the speed with which it computed 900? Now that is computers and that is programming. You write in such a long way what it should do and it executes in like boom, a fraction of a second. And that is what makes programming interesting. So what did you just now learn? You learned how to write a piece of code to compute the final discount price, right? Sky is the limit. Go ahead, see this video again and try to write a code which takes a value and then tells you what will happen if you were to sell this item with 15% profit, which means you take something for 100 rupees and you sell it for 115 rupees. Go ahead, write the code and see if it works fine or not.
Let us now see how to instruct your computer to understand your if conditions using Python. I keep repeating the same thing again and again. Please don't feel bugged. This is very important. It takes time for you to understand everything, right? You might be wondering, why is he talking so much about if loop? Why should I worry about traffic signals and how will that be useful in computer science? You will soon see as the weeks pass by how we'll be using this if condition the way we keep saying hi to your friends. Every now and then when you see them, you will keep using this if condition to your computer whenever you are programming. It will be that frequent is what I mean. So now you know how to take user input in Python. Now let us try to perform some operations on the input and see what happens. Okay, so now let's start. Let me now type a print statement. Print, hi, how are you? Just like that, I'm typing this. Okay, then I'm going to take my choice to be equal to input. Please enter your choice. Okay, what will happen? Let me run and see. So as I told you, you can go to run and then run. You can always run by using this shortcut key mentioned here, which is F5 on my machine. It can be different on your machine too, depending upon what you are using. If you're using an Apple computer, it will be different. If you're using a Windows
machine, it will be different. If you're using a Linux machine, it will be different. If you don't understand, don't worry. All that you should do is you should see what keyboard, what key is given here, and you should press that. That's one way of executing. Clicking on run is another way. There's yet another way, which is this button here. Alright? Okay. So now let me press this button here. It asks this, and I say run. And it says, hi, how are you here? You see that? Let me zoom in. It says, hi, how are you here? And then it says, please enter your choice. I will write, let's say 10. So my choice is taken as 10. But I don't get to know what my choice is. So what I should do for that is I must say print C. That's it. Again run this. It will say, hi, how are you? Please enter your choice. I'll say 10. It will say, it will print 10. Correct? Now, I'll say if my see, you know what, your C will always be a string here. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let me delete this and spend some time here and tell you what I'm trying to say. When I say print C here, it will show 10. Let me do one thing. If I say C plus 2, it throws an error. I told you, because C will be seen as a string. It is not seen as a number. Okay, I'll show you something more funny. When I say C into 5, okay, it will then tell you its true color. C into 5 will means if C is 10, C into 5 is 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Now, how funny is that? So C into 5 according to me is 50 when C is 10. As I told you, I'm going to repeat this more often than what you can consider acceptable. Computers are very dumb. They will not understand. I repeat, computers are dumb. You must precisely tell them what you want the computer to do. If you simply say C into 10, it will print 10, 10, 10, 10 times. That is because C is a string according to the computer. It sees it as a string. For you to convert that to a integer, by integer I mean a number, you must give this command D is equal to int of C. What does this mean? It means C was a string when I entered like this using this command, but I am converting that to integer, and the resultant int is an integer. By integer you mean a number. The resulting number will be stored in D. When I say this, now see the magic. If I say D into 5, what do you expect? See, it says 50. Very good. That's a nice computer. I mean, it listens to what I say, but it is bad enough that it is not smart enough that it can figure out what I am trying to say. If I say C into 10, it will put 10, 10, 10, 10 times. Only when I convert that to a number will it give me the right answer. Right? Initially, you see it threw up an error when I said C plus 2. That's because C was a string. Now if I said D plus 2, it will show me 12. So what I will do here is I will go here, please enter your choice. C is entered. I will print C. I'll say D equals int of C, which means now D will be, let me remove this. This is not required. Why should I print C? And directly say D equals int of C. Now look at what I'm going to do next. If D is equal to 1 colon enter print you entered 1. That's it. And now I'll run this. You probably have no clue what I wrote here. This doesn't sound like English. This doesn't sound like mathematics. It doesn't sound like any language. And you are very bugged, I know it. But stay patient. Let's see what this does. Run. Hi, how are you? Please enter your choice. I say 1. It says you entered 1. Okay, let me figure out what this is doing. I'll repeat this once again. Run. Enter your choice. I press 2 and it shows nothing. Remember what we did with our Scratch program? Yes, you do remember. Right? Look at this.
we used set C equals something, and then we said if C equals something, then do something. C equals 2, C equals 3, do something. Similarly, I am trying to do it using Python right now. Python is not as beautiful as Scratch, where we can simply drag and drop stuff here. You need to do some work. What is that work? You should type things that you want. What do you mean by that? Look at this. I say if D is equal to 2, then print you entered the number 2. Whatever you put here, it'll put. If I replace this by my name, it'll display my name. Now let me run this. Please enter your choice. I say 1, it says you entered 1. Let me run this once again. I say my choice, enter your choice. I say 2, it will say you entered the number 2. Correct? Let me do more of this. If D is equal to 3, I will say, what should I say? Print you entered the number 3. No, that's very boring. I'll say, I'm tired. Just like that for fun, I'm saying something else here. So let me run this. If my choice happens to be 1, it says you entered 1. If my choice happens to be 2, it says you entered the number 2. And if your choice happens to be 3, it will say you entered 3. No, that's because that's not what I'm saying here. As I told you, the computers that you are that you're using it's so dumb. It will just do, at the same time, very faithful. So it will just do what you're asking it to do, not more, not less. So it will actually say, I'm tired. So now it's very clear to you how if loop works in Python. A word of warning: you should type if. Within brackets only you should type, let's say D is equal to 1. Please note it is not 1 equal in Python, it is 2 equals. You can ask me, in Scratch you put 1 equal here. Why on earth are you putting 2 equals here? My friend, English is different from Hindi, is different from German, is different from Sanskrit, is different from Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, you name it. All these languages are different. They come with their own style, and you must stick to that style. Otherwise, the computer will slap you. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean by that. Instead of print, if I say prnt, you say, and you run here, you'll say, please enter your choice. I will say 1, and you see, name prnt is not defined. It got confused basically. It will show you a lot of unwanted stuff, very scary stuff. You'll start wondering, you'll probably close your laptop and run away. All these entries, don't worry about them. It's quite advanced. In fact, computer gets confused, it doesn't know how to react, so it will throw up all these unwanted text. So you should be very careful what to say and what not to say. Let me write it back to print and then play. It's saying, please enter your choice. I enter 1. It does show you entered 1. Okay, so coming back, 2 equalities are important, and after this there should be a colon. If there is no colon, it will behave weirdly. Look at this, I have removed the colon right now, I'm running it. See, invalid syntax, it is even showing this arrow saying that, the syntax, invalid syntax. A complicated word, don't worry about what this means. It means that computer is sort of angry with you for having made a mistake. It says something is wrong here. What is wrong here? You should put a colon here. Why? Because that's how Python works. And then you come to the next line. You see, you have print. Why have I left this space here? Let me not leave the space here. And then let me execute. You see, expected an indented block. Whatever that means. If you didn't understand, don't worry, you're not alone. It's very difficult to make out what the computer says whenever it is angrily scolding you. This is called compilation error, and that's also even complicated. So don't worry. All I mean is it is not very happy. So that's because Python expects you to give this space here and maintain that space everywhere whenever you are inside a if loop like this. What do I mean? Let's go back to Scratch and look at this. If
something is true, then you execute this. You see, you can even put more statements here. Go to looks and then say, you put hello here, then it will say, then you make this 1 so that it comes here, double click, it goes to here, good morning for 5 seconds, 5 seconds over, over. Now hello for 2 seconds, and then it will stop. You saw what happened? It will come inside and execute these two things, whatever is within this yellow if loop. Similarly, in Python, whatever is indented, it will show. What do I mean by this? I'll come here and say print. So you are doing well, I see. I'll type this and now I'll execute this. Okay, and always it asks for your choice. I'll say 1. It will come inside, and what do you expect it does? It executes these two things. This is like in Scratch, whatever is inside this yellow thing is equivalent to whatever is written after providing the space in multiple lines after if. So when I do this and say enter, you entered 1, so you are doing well, I see. It says everything that is here. It will not say anything in the next line. It will not say anything in the next line. You must note this. Okay, so that completes what is a if loop. As and always, things are not as easy as simply watching what I do and then nodding your heads. Right? You should try writing this code all by yourself. Exactly what I did here, you should repeat it. You should also do more than that. Okay? And please note, these things come by practice. In the forthcoming weeks, we'll be using if. Almost every single program will have if somewhere here or there. You will get used to it very soon. It's all a matter of time. Thank you all.